Tonight on CTV News at 6, cleaning up the city before the next big storm. Dealing with the lingering effects of record rainfalls.
And our priority number one is to make sure all of our public infrastructure is safe.
Alberta drivers urged to slow down as speeding deaths accelerate.
A really disturbing trend of speeding, but especially of excessive speeding.
And upper deck open. Extra seating needed as the Edmonton Elks win their way back into football fans' hearts.
We're excited. Everybody in the organization is excited. It's going to be great for players to have like a true home field advantage.
Some big swings in the weather pattern on the way for this long weekend. You have heat, you have rain, you have wind. We'll break it all down, give you a timeline.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. City workers are getting a helping hand cleaning up after this week's thunderstorms from crews who came up the QE2. A few dozen urban foresters from the city of Calgary are in town to help clear fallen debris and trees. As Jeremy Thompson reports, we may need them to extend their stay.
Urban foresters feed branch after branch into a wood chipper. For them, the work is familiar, but Borden Park is not.
We're going to convert them to Oilers fans by the time they leave, so we're looking forward to that. But in all seriousness, we can't thank Calgary enough for their help.
After back-to-back storms battered Edmonton this week, some city facilities and public spaces had to close. Infrastructure like this fence was damaged, and countless trees and their branches still clutter streets and parks.
And our priority number one is to make sure all of our public infrastructure is safe.
With more than 3,000 storm-related issues reported to 311, it's just too much for city crews to get to quickly. To help lighten the workload, the city of Calgary sent nearly 50 arborists and road workers up the QE2.
As these repeated events back to back continue to pile up, it really has soddened or saturated the soil, and so it makes trees more vulnerable to being uprooted.
So what do we actually mean when we say record rainfall? Well, imagine each of these cups represents 20 millimeters of rain. In June and July this year, Edmonton received 536 millimeters of rain, way higher than the previous record from 1901 of 359 millimeters, and more than 3.5 times the average rain we see in June and July of 153 millimeters.
Yeah. It was in the streets, it was all over the sidewalks, up and down.
Property manager Sabina Gibbs cleared some debris from this street herself. The city told her cleanup crews won't be around to dispose of it until late next week. She's thankful the workers from Calgary can help speed it up.
And I believe when they had the flood, we did go and help them because we are neighbors. Like, it's fun to rib them because of the shames, but, you know.
The Calgarian crews are scheduled to help out for a week, but with more storms in the weekend forecast, their stay might be extended. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Alberta Motor Association says more drivers are speeding on the streets of Edmonton. It says deaths caused by speeding have increased by 73% over the past 5 years. As Amanda Anderson reports, the AMA is urging drivers to slow down.
Bright sunny skies and bare dry roads are a recipe for problems, according to the Alberta Motor Association.
But we've seen a really disturbing trend of speeding, but especially of excessive speeding increasing over the last 5 years.
Hannah Hamilton says data collected from police, the city and province shows the number of deadly crashes because of speed has gone up 73% in Edmonton. It's also resulted in a 35% increase in major injuries.
Last year is one of the worst in the last 5 years for both major cities, Calgary and Edmonton.
The AMA says last year, Edmonton saw 14 deadly collisions. So far this year, there's been 4. Drivers we spoke with say they've noticed the high speeds too.
I do notice it. I especially notice a lot of motorcyclists, splitting lanes, cutting lanes and everything like that.
I think speeding has been increasing year round, probably since the photo radar and that was pulled off.
Hamilton says going 10 kilometers over the posted speed limit can double your risk of a crash. 20 over puts your risk 6 times higher.
Going 20 kilometers over maybe could save you about 2 minutes off your travel time, but that's not even accounting for traffic lights and the ways that the city naturally slows you down.
This driver says education and driver courtesy is what's needed, not enforcement.
People are in such a hurry now that courtesy is second rate, right? More respect for each other. That's what the world seems to be lacking, is respect for one another.
Reminding yourself that you're sharing the road with someone's mom, someone's child, and how you drive impacts their safety as well.
The AMA hopes drivers will give themselves a bit of extra time to get where they're going, not just this long weekend, but year-round. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
WestJet has started grounding some planes in anticipation of a strike or lockout on Sunday. The airline hasn't said how many planes have been grounded. It's advising all travelers to check the status of their flights before heading to the airport. The Flight Attendants Union is continuing to bargain with the airline in hopes of avoiding a work stoppage. If a deal is not reached by Sunday morning, either side could trigger a strike or lockout, leading to hundreds of flight cancellations. A man is facing first-degree murder charges in a death police originally believed was non-criminal. In June 2024, a 39-year-old man went into medical distress at the Blue Quill Garden Apartments. EMS took him to hospital where he died. Police say because the original call was for a medical situation, there was no police involvement. Almost a year later, police received new information that led them to investigate. Police now confirm he was shot. The death is a homicide. A 40-year-old man was arrested and charged today. The family of woman killed 50 years ago is still hoping someone will come forward to give them closure. Sunday marks 50 years since Marie Judy Gaudreau's homicide. Police say she was last seen in Edmonton the evening of August 2nd, 1976. Her running vehicle was found abandoned after midnight near Beaumont with her personal belongings still inside. 2 days later, the 17-year-old's body was found in a ditch off Highway 60 north of Devon. Gaudreau's surviving family is still searching for justice.
You know, this person has been able to live 50 good years, and my sister hadn't, all her dreams were quashed. So, really unfair. We'd really like to bring closure and close this chapter.
RCMPs say they are still taking tips. They say information that may have seemed insignificant then may still be useful. The parents of Parker Wells have a thank you message to the volunteers who helped search for their son. The message was recorded before the 11-year-old's body was found on Wednesday. The family still wanted police to release it.
I'm Parker's mommy.
Hi, I'm Parker's daddy.
I honestly don't think we have a word in English to properly express just how overwhelmingly grateful and appreciative we are of everybody coming out and coming together like this. It means the world to us and more.
Flags at Calgary City Hall, fire departments and police stations have been lowered in Parker's honor. A public memorial is being planned by the local community center with details still being finalized. An 81-year-old hiker who went missing in Waterton Lakes National Park has been found dead. RCMP say Bob Tutil set out to hike the Great Divide Trail more than 2 weeks ago. Search and rescue crews, Parks Canada, and the RCMP spent 7 days looking for him. His body was found yesterday. In a Facebook post, his daughter says he died after a sudden fall while hiking in the Lynham Ridge area. A small-town veterinarian is celebrating a rapid recovery after a kidney transplant. His surgery success is being credited to a new machine at the University of Alberta Hospital. As Connor Hogg explains, it better preserves donor organs ahead of transplants.
I was on call 7 days a week, which was part of the stressful part of it.
As a veterinarian in Onaway, Dr. David Klipliff is used to working under pressure. When he was diagnosed with kidney failure, he faced a new kind of stress. He eventually had to start dialysis. Then a donor kidney became available. The donated organ was being stored in one of the newest pieces of technology at the University of Alberta Hospital. The ex vivo circulates a preservation solution containing oxygen through a donated kidney. That keeps it healthy and ready for transplant for longer.
It's like installing a water filter or water softener in your house's plumbing system. So it's you need to connect the pipes and turn on the pump.
Dr. Max Levine with the University of Alberta Hospital says donor kidneys take time to work to their full potential. When they're plugged into the ex vivo, the amount of injury to the organ is reduced, which leads to faster recovery times for patients. Klipliff's transplant was a success, with doctors surprised by how quickly his condition improved.
Typically with a kidney transplant, patients require some narcotics for post-operative pain. They take a few days to get ambulating and walking again. But David was off narcotics the first night, was on plain Tylenol. You don't believe it. You have to check the records a couple times and ask them yourself if that's actually the case.
3 months later, Clipliffe is at 60% kidney function and notices the extra energy he has. He even walked in the on-away parade shortly after surgery.
That was the first time in about 5 years I walked the parade route. What it's going to allow me to do going forward is amazing.
A new start, and forever grateful to the technology, the doctors, and the donor who made it happen. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton's oldest LRT cars are nearing the end of the line. The city says it will buy 8 more light rail vehicles to support the Metro Line and Capital Line expansion projects. In February, it awarded a contract to Hyundai Rotem for 32 high-floor LRVs with an option to buy more. The trains are replacing the current Siemens fleet that's served the city for more than 45 years.
I think train 1001 has got more than 2 million kilometers on it, so they've earned their retirement, and we're looking forward to cycling those out.
The new LRVs are expected to arrive between 2029 and 2030. Nearly 40 students are graduating from the Edmonton Police Service's Youth Recruitment Academy.
Attention! We got to bond as a class, and it really provided good insight into policing. Ever since I was little, I've always been interested in a career in law enforcement.
The long program gives high school students a chance to experience what it's like to be a police officer. Participants train with patrol officers, forensic experts, Air 1, the tactical, and canine units. One student impressed her commanding officers by becoming the first to ever win 2 program awards.
My heart is just so full of joy. That is a huge honor. I think getting any award or just being accepted into this program is a huge accomplishment and an honor. And just the fact that I was able to get 2 awards means so much to me.
She's a leader amongst her peers. She was confident. She basically took the reins with her class and encouraged everybody.
The Youth Recruitment Academy is open to students in grades 10 through 12 who want to learn more about policing. Edmonton's Food Bank is encouraging monetary donations at Heritage Days this year. The festival is typically one of the Food Bank's biggest fundraisers. It says because of site logistics and vehicle restrictions at Horillac Park, it's focusing on financial donations this year. Food Bank tents will be set up at 3 locations in the park where you can donate cash or tap a card. The Food Bank says maintaining donations in the summer is crucial.
People tend to think of the food bank and our work at Christmas and other festive times of year, and our work is necessary and ongoing throughout the course of the year. So this time of year our food supplies are very low.
Non-perishable food items for donation can be always dropped off at local grocery stores, fire halls, or the Food Bank warehouse. Food donations will also be collected at tomorrow night's Elks game. And for the first time since 2023, the Edmonton Elks are opening the Upper Bowl of Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks say they've already sold more than 26,000 tickets for tomorrow night's game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They expect to sell thousands more ahead of kickoff. The Lower Bowl holds 33,000 fans. The Elks have decided to open a portion of the Upper Bowl on the east side of the stadium in case they surpass that number.
We're excited. Everybody in the organization is excited. It's going to be great for the players to have like a true home field advantage where it's noisy and their offense has a hard time functioning. And that's, we're hopeful that right from the beginning of the game, it's a hostile environment for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Kickoff for tomorrow's game is 5 p.m. A member of the Edmonton Oil Kings has been named to Team Canada for the upcoming Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Forward Caden Strader was one of 22 players selected to the national men's Summer Under-18 team. Edmonton is hosting the tournament. Some of the world's top Under-18 players will be here representing their countries. Regular games begin Holiday Monday. Canada takes on Sweden at 5 o'clock. A conservation blitz is taking place across 3 countries to help preserve the monarch butterfly population. Thousands of volunteers are needed in North America to document sightings. Nerman Issa explains how Edmonton plays a role.
They're a symbol, they're an icon.
From its vibrant color to its large wings, the monarch butterfly is considered the most recognizable of its kind.
They capture our imagination. They give us a sort of an uplifting sense of hope. And by doing that, they encourage people to be connected to nature.
This year marks 10 years of the International Monarch Monitoring Blitz. Thousands of volunteers in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico are needed to track the butterfly in all stages, as well as the milkweed plant, the only plant where it lays its eggs. The program is pretty simple. All you need is to go for a walk with your cell phone. And so you download one of the two apps and then you take a look around. If you see the milkweed plant, take a picture. If you see an egg, a caterpillar, or even the butterfly itself, also snap a picture and then you upload the information and let them know what you saw. One of the groups behind the project says Edmonton plays a special role.
It's kind of the northern limit where we have monarch observations. So any further north than Edmonton, we're not really seeing any monarchs. And so it's a really kind of cool spot where we're kind of getting that edge of the range, the edge of where we might see monarch butterflies.
Groups like the Edmonton and Area Land Trust have planted milkweed to attract more monarchs. While spottings in our region are rare, it's still important to have volunteers on the lookout.
Scientists can't be everywhere. And so allowing, everyday people to be our eyes on the ground provides so much more data than we could have accomplished just, with scientists going out on our own.
People can download apps through iNaturalist Canada or Mission Monarch. The initiative runs from July 31st to August 9th. Nair Nisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
I wonder if monarch butterflies like rain.
If they do, they'll be out in full force on Sunday. We've got a good chance of some storms tomorrow night. And then it's not going to rain all day Sunday. But there will be rain in the area for much of the day. We'll get to that in a second. First, take a look outside. It was a beautiful day today. We got to 28 for a daytime high. 26 currently with fairly light wind out of the southeast at about 10 kilometers per hour. 25s and 26s outside the city. You can update that. Why does that say July 30th? Never mind. Just skip ahead of this. We'll show you the real almanac later in the newscast. Let's go to the CTV drone. A little hazy. Air quality health index at a 4, which is at the low end of the moderate risk range. Now, I think it's probably going to get a little bit worse tomorrow. We have air quality warnings in effect for southwestern and western parts of the province. All the areas there in light blue. So no advisory or warning for Edmonton, but watch as we put this smoke forecast into action. You'll notice the smoke does kind of fill in from the south and southwest over the course of the day tomorrow. So moderate to maybe you get to the low end of the high risk range. It's certainly going to be a little bit smokier and hazier than we've seen for a while. By Sunday, that all clears out of here. So hot and a little hazy tomorrow. We'll start the day at about 16 or 17 degrees and then up to about 30 or 31. With the risk of storms late afternoon and into the evening. We'll talk a little bit more about those storms and the rain and the wind on the way for Sunday in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Still ahead, a play for anyone who finds musicals a little cheesy.
It's full of surprises, twists. It's not perfect. It's kind of like the Hawkins Cheesy.
An iconic Canadian snack inspired the show, now playing in Canmore. Also ahead.
He ended up bringing us on the private jet and taking care of us. And yeah, it was a really cool experience.
One of the stars of the Calgary Stampede gives employees at a local restaurant the VIP treatment.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
An iconic Canadian snack-inspired new original musical is playing in Canmore this summer. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg brings us a taste of the show.
Bold, classic, and wonderfully cheesy.
Well, maybe our greatest triumph was making the corn behave this cool.
That describes both a new play and the Canadian snack that inspired it. Hawkins Cheesies might seem a strange muse, but not when you consider the merits of the long-standing treat.
It makes me think of community. It makes me think of laughter.
Homegrown Canadian pride to be like, we created that. And you know what? It's great.
The cheesy musical is influenced by the story of the Ontario family business that spawned the salty snack.
It's full of surprises, twists. It's not perfect. It's kind of like the Hawkins Cheesy.
Little stick that could be described as a hefty lumpy lump or a skinny scrawny nub.
That sounds disgusting.
While history provides the base, comedy, original songs, and nostalgic Canadiana complete the recipe.
Unofficial story of, in my opinion, what unites a nation, and its tradition. Going over to your grandma's house, and every day at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, this magical bowl of cheesies arrived.
Since the play debuted in Canmore this summer, audiences have been eating it up.
They're loving it. We've had people from all over the country who've come and see it, but also a lot of international travelers.
A lot of people have said that it's a lot funnier than they were expecting, but also a lot of people said that it was a lot more heartfelt and kind of more serious than they were expecting.
We make the finest cheesies in this northern hemisphere.
The fan art continues the tradition of word-of-mouth marketing for a company that has never run a radio, TV, or print ad and only sells in Canada. The feel-good musical also gives audiences something to chew on. A message about innovation, determination, and celebration.
I think it has a lot to say about Canada and about how much of a strong culture and a community that we have here.
You can catch the cheesy musical at the Carter Ryan Theatre in Canmore until August 16th. A Calgary restaurant had a very special customer after a concert at this year's Stampede. Maurizio Abdi is the owner of La Brezza restaurant. The Italian eatery has been a part of the restaurant scene in Calgary since 1987. Abdi was at the Flo Rida concert at this year's Stampede when the artist came into the crowd. Abdi got the chance to speak to him briefly. It led to a big order and a big opportunity. Flo Rida put in an order for his crew, about 25 people, to be delivered to his private jet, and it came with a tour.
Me and my head chef in the morning, we cooked all morning and got everything ready, and not me, I didn't cook, I don't know how to cook, but my head chef put everything together, and we went together to the private jet, and he ended up bringing us on the private jet and taking care of us, and yeah, it was a really cool experience. He's going to come back for sure. He loves Calgary, and he said he's going to be back at the restaurant.
Abdi says Flo Rida's favorites were the chicken parmesan and the calamari. Still ahead, the Tabor Arena officially restored after an explosion.
It was pretty extensive, and then of course the building's so old.
7 months of repairs complete just in time for hockey season.
A nice warm start to the long weekend. Temperatures in the high 20s today. Will be up around 30 tomorrow afternoon. And then the big cool down to go along with the rain on Sunday. We'll talk about that and look ahead to Monday in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Hundreds of kids will return to the ice at the community center in Tabor this weekend, 7 months after an explosion put it out of commission. The town has officially reopened the arena. CTV's Carson Marsouk has more.
The first skaters took to the ice in Tabor Friday, helping celebrate the reopening of the town's arena.
Great to have this large ice facility back up and running, and we're very much looking forward to a normal season this year.
Last December, a failure of a component within the fuel system of the arena's Zamboni caused a propane leak and large explosion inside the arena, destroying several walls and damaging parts of the arena and curling rink. No one was injured.
It was pretty extensive, and then of course the building's so old, we had a lot of things that needed to be upgraded, not even because of that event, but just because of the age of it. It had to meet current code, so there was a lot of that.
Contractors spent 7 months completing restoration work, and on Friday, a grand reopening was held.
This was an aggressive target to meet, and we were able to meet it.
The mayor says the incident brought the community closer together.
The minor hockey didn't actually lose any games. They managed to fit their games in elsewhere, and we're very, very fortunate and grateful to the municipalities that were able to have ice availability for us, albeit having to travel.
The town also came together and was nominated for Craft Hockeyville, a national competition to receive funding for arena upgrades. Tabor came out on top as the winner of this year's competition.
We're thrilled that we're able to win that, and $300,000 in total going to go a long ways towards the repair and bills required for the rebuild.
Repairs continue on the curling club. No reopening date has been set. For now, the town is celebrating the reopening ahead of the hockey season on September 1st.
This community revolves around a community center like this, and the community has been fantastic to deal with the whole way through. They've been really patient, and offered help in any way that they could.
Carson Marchuk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
All right, we've got about 5.5 or so hours left in July, the wettest July that any of us have ever seen. Can we say officially yet, or official with you anyway?
Listen, none of us were here in 1901.
No.
So it is the wettest July officially that we've ever seen. Not quite the wettest on record. It'll end up in second place, just behind 1901 at 283 this year, 265. But look at this. Average is 83. Obviously way above average. If you add up the previous 5 years of Julys, you get to 270. So we've had almost as much rain this July as the last 5 Julys combined. And you put that on top of what was a record-setting month for rainfall in June. On average, the entire year, we get 423 millimeters. In 2 months, we've had 536, 100 more millimeters of precipitation in June and July than we normally get the entire year. We're in third place for wettest year so far. If we get anywhere even close to average the next 5 months, we'll shatter that record. River Valley Skycam, a little hazy out there, 26 degrees after hitting 28 for a daytime high, 23 in Fort McMurray, 26 for the high in Grand Prairie, and 28 in Coronation. Coronation into the mid-30s tomorrow, about 35 for a daytime high. Heat warnings across the south. We're also seeing this air quality warning extended a little further east in southern Alberta and east into the Whitecourt, Edson regions. In the mountain parks, it's an orange level warning. It's a yellow level warning outside of that. So the air quality expected to be a little worse in through extreme western sections of the province. You see this shower activity in the cloud cover pushing north of the Edmonton area? That's thanks to the fact this ridge has built north. So instead of the storm track being right over top of us like it's been for most of the month, it's pushed a little further north. The problem is for tomorrow, look, that ridge is gone. And now, all of a sudden, that storm track is back right through our area and up into northeastern Alberta. I think the best chance for severe thunderstorms is going to be north and northeast of Edmonton. But even here in the city, late afternoon, early evening, we could see some severe storms. And then as this system comes across, cooler air aloft, surface low pressure system as well. Going to be wet on Sunday. Let's play you through this on Futurecast. Showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight into tomorrow morning across the north. Sunny to start the day in Edmonton. Hot in the afternoon up to about 30 or 31. And then we're at the southern edge of this, but around supper time, could see some storms in the area. Again, better chance north and northeast. Pay very close attention to the severe thunderstorm watches and warnings as they get issued through the course of the day tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty active late afternoon, early evening. This changes overnight to just more like showers or periods of rain for the Edmonton area. So the storm risk is tomorrow, and then it's rainy, windy, and cooler on Sunday. Morning low tomorrow, 16 degrees. Daytime high on Sunday, 16 degrees. A little bit of clearing and back into the low 20s, it looks like, on Monday. 26, Edmonton and Red Deer right now, 22 in Fort McMurray, and 25 in Grand Prairie. Feels like 31 with the humidity, and I think tomorrow, 16 in the morning, 30 or 31 for a high in the afternoon. It's going to feel maybe in the mid-30s out ahead of those storms tomorrow evening. Rainy, mid-teen Sunday, and then a little improvement on Monday.
Thanks, Josh. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, a possible plan for peace in Gaza. Palestinians skeptical even as Hamas promises to disarm if Israeli soldiers leave the region. Also next.
This change represents an important and precedent-setting step.
A win in court for gay and bisexual Canadians that could mean more couples able to start families. U.S. President Donald Trump says a deal is in place that would see Hamas and other militant groups in Gaza disarm. Some Palestinians expressed little hope this morning that the deal would lead to peace. A senior Israeli official says troops will not pull out of Gaza without genuine disarmament of Hamas. A Hamas official said today that they will honor the deal if Israel withdraws its forces and ends its attacks. A Board of Peace official says the process could take more than 300 days. More than 50 people have died during a mass migrant influx into the tiny Spanish enclave of Ceuta on the North African coast. Spain's military has been deployed as about 60,000 people have stormed in from Morocco. ABC's James Longman reports.
These images are pretty shocking. Almost 50,000 people are now known to have rushed the border between Morocco and the Spanish enclave of Ceuta, and the situation is still not fully under control. This is on the northern tip of Africa, and it's the only border with Europe on the continent. And so these people are doing this to claim asylum, and you can see thousands of people swimming around border fences, some of them using boats too. A number of them we know have drowned. Officials say they know about at least 19 people who've died. Spain has deployed its military, and they're trying to restore order. Why is this happening now? Well, it could be for a few reasons. Only a few weeks ago, Spain's Supreme Court ruled that those who reach the area by sea cannot be immediately returned without due process. The border has also been a flashpoint in the past. Morocco does not recognize Ceuta as Spanish territory and uses it as a leverage in what is often a strained relationship. It's unclear if any of these people will be able to claim asylum or reach mainland Europe. James Longman, ABC News in London.
Hate crime investigators are looking into vandalism in Winnipeg that left a mosque with thousands of dollars in damage.
We are and have been always faithful, peaceful contributors to our community, our neighbors, and our city. Our neighbors have demonstrated the same last night.
This happened at the Rama Islamic Center Wednesday night. Multiple smashed windows and bullet holes can be seen in the walls and windows. The center says people were inside at the time. It says shots were fired from a vehicle before people got out and attacked the building with weapons. It was also reported a vehicle drove by with people shouting racial slurs. No one was injured. No suspects have been identified. The U.S. is reportedly investigating whether Iranian hackers could be behind a series of cyber attacks on water systems in Minnesota. Donald Trump is placing the blame closer to home.
And they blame it on Iran. I don't think so. I think I blame it on Minnesota because they're grossly incompetent.
Officials are urging water organizations across the country to ramp up their security. The FBI says some of the systems targeted reported flooding and loss of pressure. Hackers were allegedly able to crack various passwords to take control of the water supply, in some cases even shutting it down completely. Opposition is mounting against FIFA's controversial plan to sell stakes in the World Cup to private investors. The Asian Football Confederation now says it stands in solidarity with the soccer governing bodies of Europe and North America in blasting the move. FIFA's president wants to create a $20 billion spin-off company to run the World Cup with minority ownership stakes up for sale. Europe's governing soccer body, UEFA, voted to boycott FIFA competitions if the plan goes through. In a statement, the group said, quote, "Some things are simply too important to sell." Gay and bisexual men in this country will soon be allowed to donate to sperm banks. Health Canada has confirmed it will eliminate restrictions that advocates call discriminatory. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
Only after this gay man launched a constitutional challenge is Health Canada eliminating barriers that prevented gay and bisexual men from donating to this country's much-in-need sperm banks.
I'm very happy things turns out this way.
Before coming out, Aziz donated to a Toronto sperm bank, helping a lesbian couple grow their family. But after learning federal policy deemed him unsuitable just because of his sexual orientation, he decided to fight back.
Why I started doing this is really the discrimination.
For decades, Canada banned all gay and bisexual men from ever donating to sperm banks. The rules changed in 2020, allowing it if they'd been abstinent for 3 months. Aziz took the government to court in 2023, and a year later, Health Canada pivoted to behavior-based screening. But his legal team argued that change just replaced an explicit ban with an implicit one, and so they fought on. And just as they were feeling confident in the case they'd be presenting at a pending hearing, the Federal Health Agency declared it was updating its donor testing requirements again.
This change represents an important and precedent-setting step.
Alongside new advanced infectious disease testing, as of this fall, Health Canada is eliminating those questions that precluded gay and bisexual men from donating if they'd had more than one or a new sexual partner in the last 3 months.
Quarantine period and then the subsequent testing is absolutely sufficient for the safety of that sperm to be used in donation.
Affidavits filed by experts in the case confirmed the donor procedures already in place are more than enough to protect against risk, including the transmission of HIV. LGBTQ2S+ advocates say they're relieved and a little frustrated that it took this long for the government to right a wrong that was based on outdated data and beliefs.
Canada's health minister says the government supports making donations safer and more inclusive while supporting public confidence in the process. Still ahead, a cautionary tale.
Keep all their receipts. Make sure you email them right away, the customer representative. If they say no, just keep emailing back.
Lessons learned from the Air Canada cabin crew strike last summer as WestJet passengers may face the same situation. And there's a nice shot from the CTV drone, Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks have been winning. The fans are coming back. The upper deck open to ticket sales for the first time since 2023. Stay with us.
We hope you have a wonderful long weekend. Your morning returns on Tuesday, and we're joined by Canadian music power couple Rain Maida and Chantal Krebiazek here to talk about their upcoming book and tour.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Looking at today's market numbers, the Canadian dollar closed a little over 71 cents US. Oil was up about $1, trading around $84 a barrel. Gold saw a $53 drop. On the stock market, the TSX is down 279 points. The Dow Jones up 276. With WestJet flight attendants poised to walk off the job this weekend, one family hopes their experience during a similar strike can serve as a cautionary tale. CTV's Kamal Karamali explains.
If this sight of WestJet flight attendants threatening to strike looks familiar, that's because it probably reminds you of this. Air Canada flight attendants walking off the job last summer, grounding thousands of planes, leaving passengers who say they're still waiting for compensation from the airline nearly a year later.
It's frustrating and upsetting.
One of those is this Toronto couple who say they're out $1,500 after they canceled their Air Canada flight to Miami.
It was one of the situations where we got so angry we actually just had to laugh about how stupid this was.
The two were worried they would miss their cruise departing from Florida. Not wanting to take a chance, they dropped the Air Canada flight, instead booking a flight with a different carrier, flying out from Cleveland, paying extra for hotels and parking. They say Air Canada eventually ended up canceling their flight anyway on the day they were supposed to take off.
We canceled our flights because you're canceling flights the day of, and we needed to be able to get to our cruise. Even if we didn't cancel our flight, you canceled our flight.
But passenger rights advocates say that's the wrong call.
They are really at Air Canada's mercy. They have no rights whatsoever.
Arguing passengers' rights apply only when the airline cancels the flight, not when a passenger does.
Wait until your flight is canceled. Give them a chance to rebook you, and if they fail to do so or tell you we don't have any seats, then buy yourself a ticket on a different airline.
For now, a lesson learned for this couple who have this message for passengers who may be facing the same situation with WestJet's strike now looming.
Keep all their receipts. Make sure you email them right away, the customer representative. If they say no, just keep emailing back.
Air Canada says it has given the couple credits for the canceled booking, which it says they've already used, but will not be reimbursing them for the extra expenses like hotel and parking costs. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Elections Alberta is defending its process after the Water Not Coal petition organizers challenged its decision. The agency says the petition against coal mining in the eastern slopes of the Rockies failed to get enough signatures to move forward. Singer Corb Lund organized the petition. He has filed for a judicial review asking the court set aside the Elections Alberta decision. Water Not Coal claims Elections Alberta applied stricter standards than what were required. The agency says it has a clear and rigorous system that uses statistical sampling approved by Alberta's Treasury Board and Finance. Elk Island National Park says it's trying to reopen as quickly as possible after closing because of storm damage. Parks Canada shared a couple of photos showing damage at the park. The national park east of Edmonton had to close because of flooding and dangerous trees. The park says every effort is being made to reopen quickly. And work is now underway to reopen a road near Canmore, blocked by a rock slide at the beginning of June. The province says a geotechnical engineering team has inspected the site and a mitigation plan is now in place. Loose and unstable rocks are being removed from the slope above the road. Rock bolts will secure larger sections. Alberta Transportation expects the work to be complete by mid-August. Nashville is taking over Sylvan Lake next weekend for 3 days of music and breweries. More than 15 songwriters from Nashville and across Canada will be in Sylvan Lake next week. Artists perform in small, intimate venues across the town, creating an authentic Nashville experience. The event keeps the lineup a surprise. You find out who the performers are when they walk on stage. The Nashville Takeover runs 7th to 9th. Tickets are still available. Still ahead, a beekeeper getting an inside look at a hive inside his living room.
It's like an aquarium, but instead of fish, it has bees.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
Most people prefer to enjoy the company of bees from a distance. However, one Alaska beekeeper has invited tens of thousands of them into his living room. Joe Allgood has the story.
There are tens of thousands of bees in Tim Huffman's backyard.
I can tell a lot by looking at the outside of a hive, how the bees are coming in and out, when they're bringing in pollen and nectar, when they have a good population, but I can't see what's going on inside the hive.
So he looked into getting what's called an observation hive.
It's like an aquarium, but instead of fish, it has bees.
But where would you put several thousand bees? How about right in the living room?
I had a rough idea and some rough plans.
Tim's friend Bob took those plans and...
Bob did a great job of building it. And then he also built a custom table for me to put it on. That's why they match each other.
With a pipe, the bees can come and go as they please.
Let's just say that the first time I had this, I just tried to stop up the pipe, which I thought would work. And it did until the thing that I stopped the pipe up with slipped, and then they just all started streaming inside.
Installing the hive didn't come without some minor hiccups.
I had 200 bees inside. They're not aggressive, they're just disoriented. They fly immediately to the windows and buzz around. And so my wife and I spent a half an hour. We put a glass over them, slid a piece of paper behind it, and then just took them to the window and let them fly out.
For most people, the hum of bees in their home might mean a call to the exterminator. Not Tim.
My wife likes to sit here and read. She likes to listen to them. She finds the low, constant humming very comforting. I like to come in the mornings and see how they look.
All from the comfort of his couch.
This is a window for me into what my other hives are doing.
As of yet, Tim's not sure if they're going to stay inside through the winter, saying he might have to move them to the garage so the bees aren't shocked by uneven temperatures.
I'm going to watch their behavior and let that tell me whether I'm going to try it or not.
But right now, Tim's new roommates seem to be pretty happy.
They're moving around, they're doing stuff, they're storing nectar, they're storing pollen, they're feeding brood.
Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
Just think you could watch our show with your bees and everything will be great.
Yeah, it's not the bees, it's the buzzing.
It's the buzz. Oh, okay.
It's the buzzing that would get to me.
You don't like that?
No, the bees would be fine.
All right.
The bees would be fine. I like honey. 28 degrees for a daytime high today. We're going to see temperatures over the course of the next couple of days get to about 30 for a daytime high tomorrow. And then a big cool down on the way for Sunday as we get some rain. There's a good chance of some thunderstorms as well as we head through the course of the next, the afternoon, evening hours tomorrow. 21 and a mix of sun and cloud on Monday. So some heat to start. Not bad Monday. Sunday kind of goes sideways.
All right. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for sharing your time with us. Have a great weekend, everyone.